Hey guys, Hybrid here. I was asleep and then I got a message and I woke up and I was like, what's this message about? And someone's like, they're making a new Power Rangers movie. What are your thoughts on it? And I was like, Captain America shield up. Take away the blinders. Are they actually doing this? Yeah, they are. So I'm really happy about this. Mostly because I didn't think we'd be getting one soon. And I'm a massive Power Rangers fan. To be more specific, I'm a big Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. I love the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers franchise, or at least that whole season in itself is a franchise, really. But I love the show. I love the concept of it. I'm not surprised it's been around for so long. I looked it up, and they have this Mega Force, Super Mega Force, and they're doing a new show with like dinosaurs again, and it's great. I'm happy they're making a new movie though, because I feel like this does deserve the movie treatment. But the first thing that comes to mind, or there's three things that come to mind immediately. What is it going to be like? Is it going to be PG-13, dark and gritty? Also, the other thing that comes to mind is how are they going to handle the effects? Because one thing is that Lionsgate has never impressed me personally with their effects. So I was kind of hoping maybe Warner Brothers would get this, because I know at least with Warner Brothers, they have the technology to do like Megazords correctly. At least they should after Pacific Rim. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to do that Megazord wise, make it feel somewhat authentic, because it doesn't have to be realistic, it just has to be believable for like that world. You have to be able to put yourself into that that world you're viewing and be like that. It doesn't have to make total realistic sense, because obviously it wouldn't. But you have to believe, that would work in that world. So it has to be somewhat authentic there into that sense. And also the other thing that comes to mind is who are going to be the Power Rangers. Now, I don't expect them to take the TV show cast. That's a really big jump. They'll probably hire, movie actors, and I hope they go with some unknowns, and I hope they go with a young cast, like early 20s, because teenagers with attitude, you have to keep that going, or else it's really going to lose a core essence of Power Rangers. Now, another thing that comes to mind though is I'm hoping that this is going to be a continuation of Mighty Morphin, in the sense where they will acknowledge that Mighty Morphins come before, but not acknowledge the other ones. Like, I'm not saying I don't like the other series, but I feel like if they were to do it right, most likely they're gonna want to get people like Jason David Frank up in there, maybe some of the more other original like OG Rangers up in there, at least some like flashback, a little nod to them, because without those people, Power Rangers would not be where it is today. It's just being honest, they were the original cast members, the original Rangers. So I don't see them not wanting to give them some sort of nod. Especially because most likely the director of this film will be hopefully a fan of the franchise, and show some respect. But yeah, Jason David Frank, he's like everywhere Power Rangers, so I don't see him not somehow being involved in this. But yeah, so I hope that they do something where it's like, Power Rangers, decades ago, like Mighty Morphin happened decades ago. This is in the future, like not like super far out in the future, but like kind of present day future, where it's like, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 years later, but still present day. But they could do something where it's like after the original Mighty Morphin Rangers defeated Rita or something, Zordon retired the Rangers, but now let's say like Rita's back, and or like a new threat has occurred from Zordon's past, and the Power Rangers need to return. That'd be really cool. I hope we get totally new characters. I don't want them to redo the characters. I don't want them to redo Tommy. I don't want them to redo Jason, Kimberly, etc., etc. I don't want them to redo Zach. I want totally new characters. I think that for the Power Rangers, the main lineup should be the original members. No green, no white at first. I think that it'd be really cool though if in the first movie, one of the villains we get though is the Green Ranger. The reason I say that is because most likely the Green Ranger is a massive fan favorite, and so is the White Ranger. Now, if they're basing this off Mighty Morphin, which it sounds like they're going to for the this movie, you can't jump into White without doing Green first. And everything is doing a trilogy nowadays, so that makes me feel, at least for the whole third movie, he's going to be the White Ranger. So second movie is probably going to be the kind of transitional part. So if you introduce him in this movie, and it can even be a little thing, like, actually I'd really prefer if they did something where it was like they introduced the character that will become the Green Ranger in this movie. Make him a rival of the Red Rangers, martial arts wise or otherwise, just like it was in this TV show. And then like near the end of the movie, let's say the villain notices, how well the Power Rangers work for Zordon. So he's like, I'll make my own Ranger. Or like, let's say he's inspired by Rita to make his own Ranger. I don't know, something like that. And he makes the evil Green Ranger near the end of the movie. Then second movie, it's evil Green Ranger. Then, obviously, because he's not evil at heart, he's a good person. He defeats, the evil green influence, whatever they're going to do. I doubt they're going to do the whole candle storyline. So, because that whole thing, evil Green Ranger arc is a whole movie in itself. So, second movie could totally be based on that, where, we have the evil Green Ranger going from being evil, and then eventually he, fights that, evil influence, but loses his green powers in the process, and then they give him the white powers. Like they could do something where like evil green, he denies evil green. Zordon, sees the greatness, sees the potential in whoever is the Green Ranger, and gives him the abilities to become the White Ranger. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then we could have like White Ranger and everybody else in the last third film, because like I said, everything seems to be a trilogy nowadays, and they all seem to be planning for continuous movies. They don't make a movie to be standalone anymore for these franchises. So I would love to see that. I just hope they don't rush it. I hope they do it well, and I hope they respect the franchise. Actually, when I really think about it, I'd rather them just do a full reboot at this point, with just doing respectful nods to the original Power Rangers. The reason I say that is because it is kind of hard to redo the whole green story arc and the white story arc. If it's already been done before, it'll seem kind of odd. I think that might throw off a few people. Plus, it sounds like from the press release, this is going to be a reboot to bring in new audiences and obviously old fans. So if you had the basis already off of old, histories, that might throw some people off. So actually, when I do think about it, furthermore, I do think they should just do a full 100% reboot with nods. Have the old characters in there, like not the old characters, but like have new characters. But if you can get new Rangers, or not new, old Rangers, sorry, like Jason David Frank, to kind of appear in there, that'd be pretty cool. Just like, just as a little nice, nod to fans. But yeah, that's really all I have here. I will be covering this though. Definitely, I will be covering this. Just like I've done, tidbits of Godzilla stuff. I will definitely be doing Power Ranger stuff because I love Power Rangers. That's like my guilty pleasure. On Netflix, I'll watch Mighty Morphin, and yeah, I'm really happy about this announcement. Just the fact that they're getting a full-length movie, I just really want to see it done well. Speaking on the tone of it, though, briefly before I wrap this up, because this will probably be about 10 minutes long. Tone-wise, I'm okay with the more serious tone, because let's be honest, we can't have it. You can't be a totally joking, lighthearted, movie anymore in cinemas. At least it's really hard unless you're an animated movie. So I don't expect them to do that from a marketing standpoint, because they want to blend in with what's now, what's hip. But I do hope they take cues from movies like Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I think did a really good job. It felt totally different tone-wise for a good majority of the film than the first one. It felt much more fun, and I hope they do put some of that in Mighty Morphin, because it needs to be a fun movie. These are teenagers, thrust with great abilities. It's not great fantastical abilities like flying around like Superman, but it's still pretty cool. They could really capitalize on that. I hope they do a good job with the Megazords also, and showcasing different powers. One thing I hope they do is I hope they do costume designs that are still reverent to the original costumes, but I hope at the same time they give each character I know it's a bit of a departure from the original source material, but I hope they give each member kind of like powers, like each member gets a special power, so to speak, kind of like what they did in Dino Thunder. Because I know in Dino Thunder, like the Red Ranger had super speed, the Blue Ranger had extra defensiveness, and it was like in Pokemon where it's like he uses Harden. And I know the Yellow Ranger had like the Sonic Scream. Like, I'm not saying give them those abilities, but just something to differentiate them, so it just doesn't seem like, oh, they just wear costumes and they are really good at martial arts. Because they're probably going to try marking this to superhero genre, so they have to seem like superheroes to some capacity. So I hope they do that. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you want to see here? I'm gonna go home in my bed and dream about what I want to see for the next Power Rangers movie in more detail than I already mentioned. But yeah, comment below your guys' thoughts, and hopefully we're all happy about this. If you're not, explain why. And I'm interested to see how this affects the TV show franchise also. So this is Hybrid, and I'll see you guys later.